All right, so this is what you see. Okay, so this is just a repeat of what Ms. Pilcher has already taught on, okay? Just really big addressing the misconception that factors and multiples are two different things, all right? Factors are what go into a number, and multiples come out of a number. So Ms. Pilcher kept saying, like, skip counting. So if we're thinking about the multiples of 6, it's 6, 12, 18, 24, and so on. Your Nearpod should be switching with me. All right, so here we have an explain. How would you find the least common multiples of 5 and 10? What steps would you take? So I'm going to move us to the next slide. Again, you should be working in the Nearpod. Paste. Okay, so now it should have where you're able to type. Now you have a couple of options on this screen. You can either type your answer, or if you allow, it should say allow recording or allow use of mic. If you click allow, it'll actually let you record your answer as well. There we go.
Sorry if I just messed it up.
No, you're good. You're good.
Okay, I understand now.
It's okay if you join late, Mary. You're still able to, we are on slide 5. I just switched it to student paste. So if you will navigate over to slide 5, and then again, on my present screen, the class share and Engagely, I have the question. How would you find the least common multiple of 5 and 10? What steps would you take? So you're either writing that out, or you are doing a voice recording. And let's do, what do you think, Ms. Pilcher? Just about a minute?
Yeah, that'd be good. I think as long as we get to like 11, that's probably 4 minutes is probably enough for the exit ticket.
Okay, perfect.
When you guys are answering this one, make sure you're reading that it says least common multiple. There's greatest common factor and least common multiple. And those are two different things.
Thank you for your answer, Aubrey. And guys, if you don't know, I don't know is an answer too. So several of you, it says no answer. That'll give us something. So if you don't know, tell us that you don't know. That way we have that. All right.
Did one of you guys call on me?
No, babe, I just said thank you for answering. We can see y'all's answers on our end. And so I just saw that you answered in the Nearpod. So thank you. I appreciate it. Aiden, thank you for giving us some feedback. Remington, I see you started. Roberto, awesome. Nice, guys. Thank you for getting those answers in. And like I said, I don't know is an answer. That tells us that we need to work a little bit more. So thank you. All right. I am going to turn student paste off for just a second. And we are going to move here. So a bit of feedback. If you didn't know, it is okay. So here are the steps. You list the multiples of each number. Step 2, you find the first multiple that each number has in common. Now we don't use 1. If you want to get technical, 1 is the least common factor, right? Because every number is divisible by 1. But we're looking at the very next number. That would be the least common factor, least common multiple. There we go. All right. Operating two screens here, y'all. Okay, so this is another opportunity. I'm going to turn student pace back on. We are on slide 7. So on this slide here, you can either use your crayon, you can use the highlighter, or if you don't have a writing pad, you can use the little, it says a big T and a little t at the bottom middle of your screen. That's a text box. So on this screen here, I am going to be watching your screens. Ms. Pilcher and I are going to be watching just to kind of see if you're getting this.
And factors, remember, those are the numbers that we can divide 8 and 12 by.
Boss, thank you for joining. Josiah, I see you got started. Like I said, guys, I know sometimes it's hard to write with that crayon. Remember, you can click the big T and the little t. And
Miss,
yes, Aubrey.
I'm kind of confused on this one.
Yeah, that's okay. So I put a couple of notes on here, a couple of things. We're listing the factors. Remember, factors go into a number. So at the bottom, you can see my little note. Factors go into a number. What numbers can evenly fit into 8 and 12? So I can get you started. And I see some of you have started. Keep going. So a number that fits into 8 is 1. And then you have to multiply 1 by something to get 8. That's 8, right? Those are two factors of 8. Then you just kind of go right down the line. I know that all of my factors are going to be between 1 and 8 because that's the smallest and the largest. So what's after 1? 2. Does 2 fit into 8 evenly? If that answer is yes, how many times does it fit into 8?
4.
4. There we go. So then we're making our number options smaller. We know that now the only factors that fit into 8 are now going to be bigger than 2, but smaller than 4. So 3. Does 3 fit into 8 evenly with no remainder?
No.
No. So those are all the factors of 8. 1, 2, and 4. And then you're going to do the same thing for 12. What's the smallest factor? 1. What's the largest? 12. So all of our factors are either going to be, they're all going to be between 1 and 12. So then you're just kind of running through the numbers. Does 2 fit into 12? Does 3 fit into 12? And that's getting smaller and smaller on option choices. So remember, factors are limited. There's only a certain amount of factors each number has. Multiples are infinite because you can keep skip counting forever, right? So factors are limited. And I can see you guys still working. Victor, you nailed it. It looks like you have all the numbers. Jeremiah, so Jeremiah, I'm gonna send you a chat, okay? I'm gonna send you a quick chat.
Also, if you feel like you have all the factors written for both numbers, like cross, I think you have them all, go ahead and figure out which ones overlap and scoot them over into that middle section.
If they're in the middle section, they are common. Those are the common factors.
It means it'll be in both of your lists you have going, and you can take it out of those lists and drop it in the middle. Y'all are doing great.
Then, yeah, y'all are doing awesome. And then as I'm looking through, guys, just a quick note. Remember, we're listing factors, not multiples. So multiples are going to be bigger numbers. It's the skip counting. Factors are numbers that fit into a number. Okay, so we got a good amount of practice in. We do have to switch back to complete the Engagely exit ticket. I am going to leave this as a student paste. So you can leave this open in another tab. And as you go on, at the very end, next is a time to climb. So it's a fun game where you can answer some questions. and you get to play a game with it. However, we are going to go back to class and do the exit ticket. So please navigate back. Hey, y'all did it.
All right, guys. I know that a lot of you guys are still confused, and I totally understand. We're going to have more practice with this as we go through the week. These exit tickets are just a way for the teachers to see where you're at right now. So if you need to make an educated guess, that's okay. But for this one, a couple things, I'm going to help you out just a wee bit. First of all, it does say in the question, what is the greatest common factor of 24 and 32? Make sure greatest common factor, that means you're looking for factors and that your factors are going to be smaller than those numbers. Factors are smaller, multiples are bigger. You can solve this using a list, or you can solve it using the prime factorization and Venn diagrams. But your numbers are 24 and 32. You're finding the factors they have in common, and then which one is the biggest. Those are my little tips for y'all. Before you get started, I'm going to launch the poll. And again, we're going to keep working on this week when we have some time. Here we go. Good job, guys. I'm going to go through and kind of give you guys some feedback as I see your answers. Make sure you submit it in the poll. Alejandro, you are correct. Aubrey, you're correct. Cross, you're correct. Jay, you're correct. Natalie, you're correct. Roberto, you're correct. Victor, you're correct. There's still time to put in your answer, so keep on working. Yes, Aubrey, you did. Aiden, you're correct. I don't know. I'm going to end up forgetting whose name I've said. Nay, you're correct. And remember, you can do it by making lists. Yes, please write it down somewhere if you need to. Actually, I would suggest writing it down even if you think you don't need to. I would write it down regardless. And if you didn't know, writing things down is the second most effective way to learn them. The only way that is better than writing stuff down is to teach it to someone else. So even if you think you don't need to, Bella, you're correct. Rael, you're correct. Riley, you're correct. Great job. Okay, it is 11:15. If you've submitted your poll, you're free to go ahead and go. Don't forget about your IXL. Please practice tonight. If you're sitting there and you're like, what is even going on? Go to the module on your calendar and say week 3. Click on week 3. There's some resources in there. There's videos. There's a video on IXL you can access. You can watch our recorded class again. If you have not submitted your poll, please keep working. I'm going to stick around a little bit so you guys can get your answers in. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye, Riley. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye, Jay. Ooh-wee. Henry, you're correct. Ooh. We have a lot of correct answers. Nicholas, you're correct. Joshua, you're correct. Victor, you're correct. Again, I don't remember whose name I've said and who I have not. Akila, you're correct. Great job, guys. If you already answered, you're free to go. If you haven't answered, keep working. I'll stick around for another minute or two. And then once we get ready to go, you can go ahead and make it an educated guess, if you will. I'm quite impressed. Are you able to see the poll result? Like the poll? Is more than okay. All right. I'm waiting on 1, 2, 3, maybe 4. I can't tell if my person on the bottom is answered. So I'm going to put a timer for 30 seconds. When you get down to the end of the timer, go ahead and make a guess if you don't have your answer yet. All right, guys. Put in your answer. 3, 2, 1. All right. I've locked the poll. You guys are free to leave class. I will see you guys tomorrow. Don't forget about IXL and have a good rest of your day. All right. Bye, guys.